People are able to see each and every nuance, so be very cognizant of your facial positioning, your tone and inflection, and that video interview can come across almost as good as the one done in person. Last but not least, and sometimes the most difficult, is the dinner interview. The dinner interview may be designed to get to know you specifically, as well as a spouse or other members of your family. Let me give you one example of what not to do in the dinner interview. You typically will want to avoid any temptation to have a cocktail or any kind of alcoholic spirit. One example includes a salesperson that I interviewed perhaps 10 years ago, did a stunning job in the first interview and the second interview, and made it to the all-important dinner interview, where we had the opportunity to get to know his spouse. After perhaps one too many glasses of wine, the salesperson's wife shared with us that he really was not fond of flying. Unfortunately, that person did not secure that position because in a sales role, flying is a given part of that profession. So I always advise people in the dinner interview, remember to avoid alcoholic beverages and make sure that you select the right kind of meal. This may not be the time for corn on the cob or baby back ribs. Let's talk a little bit about your professional references. They typically will ask for 3 references. It's just important to remember that there's a different sense of references if you provide a friend versus a previous employer versus an individual that actually supervised you. Pretty much the employer knows that a friend will say good things about you one way or another. A previous supervisor will give them a true sense of your work. If you're able to get someone at the executive level to speak on your behalf, that's always the key to that employee who goes the extra yard. If they've been noticed by executive management, any human resources team and any interviewer will tend to really value that reference in a completely different light. Let's talk a little bit now about different levels of career options. Once you're in the organization and you're starting to have some success, you start to think about how you want to grow your career over time. Let's take a moment to talk about a variety of different career options available to you. First and foremost, there's the lateral move. The lateral move may involve a change in the job and title, but not necessarily the pay level and the particular job grade. In this situation, it gives you an opportunity to learn a great deal more about the depth and breadth of the organization. It also helps you to increase your networking, and we tend to think that only promotions are of value. I encourage you to consider over time the value of a lateral move that helps you to become a fully developed 360-degree professional within your organization. That's a little bit about the lateral move. Let's talk a little bit about enrichment. Enrichment is really about growing in place. There may be no change in the title or even within the department that you're in, but ultimately what you've done is made yourself more visible throughout the organization by offering your services to a variety of different departments for any projects or special stretch assignments that they may have. The enrichment serves not only to build additional skills for you, but it helps the rest of the organization to get to know you as well. Let's take a moment and talk about our favorite one. Everyone's favorite one is the vertical move. The vertical move is the promotion and movement and advancement in your pay, your title, and your salary. The ultimate thing here is that promotions are of the most value, and they typically happen when 2 things coincide. When the organization's needs match with an individual's abilities, that's when the vertical move or the promotion becomes of the greatest possibility for you. Congratulations on your promotion. Let's take a moment and talk about realignment. Realignment is sometimes viewed as a negative. Realignment is when an individual may take a step down in the organization, or what in the past might have been called a demotion. In the new world, there are plenty of reasons that an individual might elect realignment. Sometimes going back to school, starting a family, or the need for some level of work-life balance might dictate that an individual might step down to a different level of position in order to better themselves in the long term, or to meet a personal goal of having a bit more work-life balance. The last and not least is the relocation. To relocate means stepping outside of the organization. This would mean that you're no longer with your current employer and have made a decision that stepping outside of the organization is best for you. Based on this, some of the reasons for relocation may be a need to get into an entirely different field that can't be found or can't be accessed within your current organization. Relocating may also come from a feeling that promotions within a flat organization may be hard to attain. Based on this, you may make a determination overall that you need to step outside of your current organization to continue to grow your path. But whatever decision you decide, make sure that you also consider what you're good at, what you have a passion for over time, and when you bring those two worlds together, ultimately you help to ensure a long-term, satisfying career. I wish you the best. Let's take a moment and open up the floor for any questions that may be out there regarding career coaching and advancement.